Hi, ladies and gentlemen, teammates from all around the world. I am Sean J. McCoy, and I'm your host for this edition of Let's Talk. And we are going to get right into it. I'm going to invite my guest right away, and we're wasting no time this evening. So let me find out where he is. There. And then we're going to get started. So, fix the camera, both of us. We're good?
Hello.
We're good. We're live. Okay. So, my guy, do me a quick favor and introduce yourself really briefly, and then we're going to jump right into the question.
Yeah. So my name is Yoan Granvorka. I've been pro for 7 years now, and I'm part of the Swiss National Team, and I'm playing actually in the Netherlands for Feyenoord basketball.
Okay. So, thank you for the introduction. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I know you have better things to do at 8:45 p.m., but sometimes I reach out to people and I don't know. I reach out to a lot of people and most of them don't answer me back. Okay, right? But you were one of the few that answered back like right away, like let's do it. So I appreciate that. You didn't know me. Like I really appreciate the fact that I can tell you a little bit of your story and get some perspective out to people who are maybe in a similar situation than you are or up and coming. So I appreciate it.
And I'm really happy to be here, and I follow you since a few months, and it's really helpful.
Good, thank you. So before we get into the questions, I do very thorough research when I do these interviews, right? And I just want to tell you that Avram K-Bob told me that they miss you and they miss your money. And the next time you play blackjack, you should probably be a little bit more successful so you don't have to send those reels about, better luck next time or, stuff like that. Shout out to Antoine and Maxine for the info.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I always like to start off with a little bit of something that you're not expecting. So I hit those guys up and they gave me some good info. They got you to laugh and loosen you up.
Yeah.
I know those are your guys, right? So
I was not expecting that at all, but this is for real. They are my guys, my best friends. So
yeah.
good inside, yeah.
All right. So both of your parents were pro volleyball players. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably got your athleticism from them. Who can
Yeah.
jump higher, you or them?
I think my dad was the one who was jumping the highest. Like he was known for that, and this is probably the main reason why he had a great career in volleyball.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, all my family, my sister, my brother, everybody was playing volleyball, and I'm just the only one who chose to skip and to play basketball.
Did you ever play volleyball?
Yeah, I did until 16. I was doing both at the same time. And then at 16, I had to choose between going in high school for volleyball or for basketball. And I chose to play basketball just because I was a huge fan of Kobe and all this stuff.
Thinking back to when you were 16, when you had to make that choice, what do you think? Were you better at that point in your life? Were you better at volleyball or basketball?
I would say I was better at volleyball, but mainly because there was less concurrence. Probably there's more people playing basketball and it was more difficult. But I felt like I had the potential to be good at both. So this is why I choose maybe the path that was more interesting to me, more risky a little bit, but probably more rewarding also.
Cool. So you've hooped in France, Switzerland, and now the Netherlands.
Yep.
What's the competition level like on the teams that you've played on? Would you rank? I would assume France is probably the best league that you've played in, and then maybe what's after that? Would it be Switzerland or the Netherlands?
I would say because I played in first division in France and in second division. So yeah, probably the first division in France is one of the top leagues in Europe.
Right.
Right under, I will say that where I am right now. So the Netherlands, but it's also Belgium because it's the BNXT. They mixed it.
Yeah.
Is pretty similar to the Pro B, so second division in France.
In France.
And the Switzerland is a little bit lower.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I was actually, I mean, I told you before, I actually played in Geneva many years ago, and I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I went to Geneva and I went to a game, and I was trying to compare it to when I played, and
Yeah.
it's definitely, some things are pretty the same, which was kind of startling, but some things are different. It's a little bit more physical than it was back then. But in general, I think it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
It hasn't really gotten a whole lot better than when I played there.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe a few years ago, like 5 years ago, the league was better. But
Mm,
right now, since COVID, they
mm,
are struggling a little bit, and it's tough for them to have a lot of competitive teams. So
yeah,
I would say this is the main reason. But there's some good players. There's a lot of
yeah,
good coach, a lot of Eastern country coaches. So they are good, but still they are struggling with the money, with
right,
the fans.
right.
So to me, is the main problem, and also
But-
the gyms, because everything in Switzerland is expensive. So
right,
if you want to have a good gym, it's gonna
right,
cost you a lot.
right. The one thing that I did notice that was better, way better,
Yeah,
was the Swiss players. The Swiss players have gotten better.
yeah. I don't know how it was when you played there, but probably there was not no limitation about foreigners.
No, there was
There was,
still a limitation,
yeah.
but a lot of teams used, for me, as an example, I had a passport, I had an EU passport, so they would look for EU players,
Yeah.
and especially EU players with passports.
hmm
I mean Americans with passports.
Yeah. I know that now you can have four foreigners.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter where they are from, and
yeah,
only three on the court. So every time you need at least two Swiss players on the court.
yeah, yeah.
So probably it helps them
It for sure
developing.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it for sure has. Um, so going from like Nancy's youth team, now you're a Swiss national team player. Was there ever a moment where you sat like, wow, I'm here, like this is, or
No.
did you always expect to be where you are?
Yeah. Yeah. I think when I was younger, when I was playing for the Nancy, as you mentioned, and I also did the French U20 National Team,
Mhm.
and I did some NBA workout. And when I did that, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm special. I'm gonna do something crazy, and maybe my expectations were a little bit too high
Right.
just because of this. And the more you are like you gain experience, you realize that there's a lot of details, there's a lot of work to do, and I don't want to say that I was expecting more, but I feel like I've I've always been focused on the fact that I want to take the most out of my season, and I don't really care of like what I'm gonna do in 5 years or whatever. I take basketball as a tool to grow, and every
Mhm.
season I try to enjoy it as much as possible because I feel like I'm growing out of it, out of it.
Mhm. We're going to talk about the NBA stuff in a little bit,
Yeah.
and also about the move from the French under 20 national team to Switzerland.
Mhm.
But what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about European pro basketball players?
I would say because European basketball is really team basketball.
Mm,
Like I think in every good league, the ball is moving. You have a lot of good sets. You need to have a lot of knowledge.
mm,
It's not only about skills. And I would say that maybe the skills is a little bit lower than maybe American basketball,
right.
but the knowledge, the team basketball is probably higher.
The
And
IQ.
sometimes, yeah, IQ. And sometimes when you see it from the outside, you're like, yeah, those guys are not able to play ISO or something. But just because we don't really want to, it's not
Mm,
in Europe. In Europe, it's not really efficient basketball. And in the US, you do some step backs, some flashy moves, and this is what people thinks make a good player. And in Europe, it's more about like right pass, good timing, making
mm,
the open shots, and all this
mm.
stuff. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, of course, NBA is a lot of hype and um, one-on-one based. individual skill talent, right? I mean, no question, those are the best athletes in the world, and
for sure.
They're rightfully where they are. But like you said, it's maybe in Europe a situation where the individual thing is not as in the front of what everybody sees, and it's more you're drilled more over here to share the ball, to play as a team, to have good movements, your automatics, things like that is preached more here than back in America. But I mean, for me, I seriously I can't watch NBA right now. I can't. I can't.
I understand.
Um, I mean, I have respect for those guys, and they're incredible players and stuff like that. But I just cannot watch NBA right now. Usually, I watch like in the playoffs. No, I can't even.
Yeah, not even the playoffs.
No, I probably won't watch to the finals.
Yeah.
No. But back to you. Speaking of NBA, so in 2018, you declared for the NBA draft, and then you pulled out. What was that whole story about?
I was with the Nancy, the U20 French team. We were French champion, and I was playing for the U20 National French Team. So I had a little bit of exposition. I don't know how to say in English, but like exposure. And I declared for the NBA, and I had 2 NBA workouts. So I was not really expecting to be drafted, but I wanted to have some, to see.
You wanted to test the market.
Yeah, exactly. And also have the chance to compete against like players that gonna be drafted, And it was the main point. I didn't have some incredible stats or crazy talent at this time, so I was like, it's more to try the market and to see what I can do against those guys. More to see if my dream of being an elite player is more a dream or maybe can be a reality. So but it was a great experience. I played against Dylan Brooks, Malik Monk, and a lot of amazing guys. And it's crazy because when you see them on the TV, you're like, yo, those guys are gods. And when you play against them 1-on-1 or 3-on-3 and all this stuff, you realize you can compete against them, but still they are extremely good, extremely physical. So it's kind of humbling because you are like, okay, those guys are crazy good, but also it brings me a lot of confidence because I was able to play against them eye to eye and be like, okay, maybe you're gonna win, maybe I'm gonna win, but at least you're NBA superstar. I'm nobody, but I'm able to compete 100% against you.
What teams did you work out for?
Phoenix and Dallas.
What did you take away from those workouts? I mean, not everybody gets to go to a workout. So what did you leave? What was your impression when you left after doing those 2 NBA workouts about your own self? What did you gain from that?
Firstly, I realized how physical are those players. I think if you're gonna go to the league, there's no way you're not athletic and you don't have incredible physical abilities.
Right.
Most of the time, maybe there's some exceptions, but most of the time. And those workouts are made to test you to see if you have the cardio, if you have the physicality to endure just this workout, because it's like maybe 1 hour 15, 1 hour, but it's extremely intense. There's a lot of like continuing 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3 full court, and at the end, I remember the one in Phoenix, we did like 3 minutes, and you have to do as much up and down as you can, and like at the end, everybody was just laying down, dying. Almost everybody was throwing up, because you have to give everything you have.
That's your chance.
Yeah, that's your chance, exactly. You got to go get the money, and you give everything. And this is crazy because I think the first thing they want to see is how physically prepared you are, and then how you can compete if you're tired, if you're not tired, if you're focused, if you lack a focus. And the one in Phoenix was extremely hard, and the one in Dallas was more. I think they already choose who they wanted to draft, so it was more like just see your skills, see if you are physically ready and all this stuff. But yeah, I would say mainly they know who is coming to the workout, so they already know. They just want to test you mentally, technically, physically, and push you to the really edge, you know.
Did you get to keep any gear?
Yeah, I've my you know I've the I don't like the shirt without the sleeves,
Yeah.
and I never wear it because I don't want nothing to to be destroyed, you know. I just keep it in my closet, and I'm really proud of it because it was an amazing experience.
Okay. Was there something I actually just answered that. I'm not going to answer that question. But if you could go back and give yourself in 2018 what you know now, what advice would you give yourself in 2018 when you were getting ready to go to these workouts?
I think the advice would have been to be more a specialist. Like in my player's identity, I would have like three things or two things that I do extremely good,
Really well.
really well, to have a chance to like go in the NBA and have a really clear role. Because like to be anything else than just a role player in the NBA is like you have to be like a freak or something
Yeah.
crazy. Victor
Yeah.
Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, or
Yeah.
LeBron, you know. So I think it would be the advice would have given me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about a little bit from French under 20 to now representing Switzerland. What was it like, first of all, representing France in the under 20s? And then what was the turning point where you thought, maybe I'm going to try to go play for Switzerland?
You know, the Swiss national team is way, I mean, it's not as good as the French one,
Right.
but there's also not as much concurrence because
Right.
the French national team is, you know, competing for the gold in the
Right.
Olympics. It's really, really high level basketball. And I'm already glad that I was just in the U20 national team. And I mean, it was a great experience, but as soon as I was older and I was not anymore a young French player, I realized that when I was maybe 23, the French national team going to be extremely hard for me to be in.
Right.
And I wanted to compete for the Swiss national team because I'm half Swiss and I have like the pride of my country. And I'm, you know, at the beginning I was not really playing a lot, and I was like, I don't care because this is my country. I'm ready to make any sacrifice just to be a part of it. And right now it's getting better. I have more playing time, more responsibilities, and I really enjoy it, you know. So it's not even a question. I'm gonna play for the Swiss national team probably until I retire, just because I enjoy being there. And this year we have something to compete for. We may qualify for the World Cup 2027,
Yeah.
so it's extra motivation.
Yeah. Do any of your your under 20 teammates call you a traitor?
Not really. And you know, in France, there's a lot of people who are binational.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Dual
so,
citizenship. Yeah.
yeah. So there's many that after the U20 they changed because they don't have the chance to be called by the senior national team. So I'm not the only one.
What do you think now that you've been through the Swiss system and you're rising in that stature? What do you think is the biggest challenge what Swiss basketball has in regards to the national team?
uh, I think because we're a small country about basketball, it's tough. Just like for example, we are doing the pre-qualifiers, and nobody really wants to go there because I mean we play against low quality team and all this stuff, and then we go to the second round, and then you have
Then
more
everybody wants to
good,
play.
yeah, and then you have more good players that wants to come. But for example, for the NBA players to come, you really need to have something to compete for. So you know every stage is complicated because. Uh, at the beginning, there's not a lot of interest because it's pre-qualifiers, then
Right.
it's qualifiers, and then if you qualify, everybody wants to come,
Right.
but you have to go through all those stages before you can have the full roster, you know. So this
Yeah.
is, I think this is the toughest part.
So you've played in, like I said before, France, Switzerland, now the BNXT league. If you could pick any league in the world except for NBA,
Mm.
what league would you be going to?
I would say or Spain or
Mhm.
First Division France,
Mhm.
because to me, probably Spain is a little bit more. They are tactically high level than France. When France has so much athleticism, so much physicality that I think that this is what is the closest to the NBA in terms of physicality,
Right.
and just a little bit behind Spain in terms of knowledge, tactics, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But still, I think those two leagues are the two best behind NBA.
Mhm. So are you what how tall are you? Two meters and two?
Uh,
6'7"?
199.
Oh, 199.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
six three quarter.
Okay. So obviously you're still young, your game is still evolving. Where do you see your game growing the most in the next couple of years?
Uh, Honestly, I think that first playing as a foreigner is really helping you grow because I've always played as a local, and it's really different because you have less exposure, you have less responsibility, and also you are more comfortable. And as soon as you play as a foreigner, you have more responsibility, more pressure, more expectations.
Yeah.
So I would say I don't really know the league, but I would say keep another year as a foreigner just to grow out of the adversity and all this stuff, and also I can work a little bit on my English. So yeah, I cannot answer precisely about where I want to go, but continue to play as a foreigner will be a good step first, and then after that, just go at the higher level possible.
Um, you spoke about the added responsibility when you're a foreigner. That's something
Hmm.
that I
Yeah,
dealt with my whole career.
I guess.
Um, was there any moment where you thought, "Oh yeah, I'm a foreigner. This is different now."
Yeah, yeah. Like this season, and we play not a strange basketball, but this is not so European. The vision is more like G League basketball or American basketball, and sometimes it's really quick, and sometimes it's also a little bit more chaotic.
Yeah.
So it's tough to adapt. And at the beginning, I was not really into it, and I was like, okay, what are we doing? What is this? And after 3 games, the first game was good. The second two were not so good, and the GM came to me and was like, okay, so you have to perform next game, so we're gonna fire you. I was like, oh, okay. And then it was the first time I really felt the pressure,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, you have to adapt, you have to learn out of it.
Mhm.
And I think this is what I did, even though it was not easy after. But this is a really, really different approach. But also, I feel like I'm lucky to be in this position because
Right.
to face that is what brings me a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about whatever. I think you probably
Yeah.
face that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, as a local, you are more like, yeah,
Chill,
whatever happen, I'm
relax.
gonna play, I'm gonna have my minutes, and
Yeah.
nobody gonna happen to me. But now your job is on the line,
Mhm.
and people are criticizing you and all this stuff. So it's more, yeah, it's really different.
Mhm. Um, how does is your agent Savon?
Yeah.
Okay, I played with Savon
So
in
you play
Geneva.
with them?
Yeah, yeah, I played with Savon. I hit him up when I was in Geneva because I thought he would be there, but he wasn't. He was gone.
Mm.
But um, just real quick, I want to touch on your agent, not particularly your agent, but maybe like the agent's role. how does your agent prepare you from going from being a home guy, a local guy, and then saying, okay, well, I've got you a gig. You are going to be a foreigner.
Yeah.
So how does your agent then prepare you for that?
Firstly, I asked him to have an offer as a foreigner. I didn't really want to go back to France or Switzerland. I wanted to play abroad and
Yeah.
to try it. And then he told me that it was really like a good choice for me because I'm gonna grow out of it. But he didn't really told me like it's gonna be completely different. And I think this is why maybe I had this shock at the beginning. But also, I think this is not something you can really prepare. You have to face it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
learn really from it. So yeah, nothing crazy.
I guess you have a little bit more empathy for all the American players you played with and how they
Yeah,
were always complaining about
yeah.
stuff and like now you understand, right?
I understand a lot, but this is crazy because like for example last season I had an American point guard and I was like yeah sometimes he's a little bit negative or a little bit selfish, but this season I realized that also it was because he had a lot more pressure and he had to. I mean like if the team lose, it's mainly on you,
Yeah.
so you better keep everybody accountable and yeah I understand a lot better now. Because before I was like, chill, bro. I mean, this is okay. Don't be so negative. But
Now you
also,
get it.
you need to have leadership, find a balance between leadership and negativity.
Right.
But I understand why sometimes it can mess up with your head.
I want to touch real quick. You're married, right?
Yeah.
How does being a husband influence on what jobs you might take in the future?
I mean, since the beginning of my career, I try to invest uh, most of my money into different things just so after my career I can choose to do whatever I want
Right.
without really
The
having
pressure.
pressure from lacking of money. So I don't think that I have more pressure since I'm a husband,
Mhm.
but I feel like I'm more disciplined into it because now I'm like, okay, as soon as I'm done, I want everything to be ready for me, for my wife, and for my maybe my kids. And yeah, it's more about discipline and like not doing crazy stuff with my money that invested or something. And
Right.
I feel like I have more motivation now because I see a future. I see that I want to live somewhere I can enjoy with my wife, with my kids.
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna go play blackjack.
I want to go back to your parents. Your parents' influence. They're both professional athletes. So, do they ever try, or did they ever try to kind of give you tips or say, "Hey, this is the life," and or do you ask them for tips or things along your journey?
I think that it was maybe like 40 years ago, so it was really different. And
Right.
volleyball is a little bit less a business. It's more, I don't know, but it's more normal sport, I would say.
Mhm.
And so yeah, they prepared me about the competition, about the sports, but what they couldn't prepare me about was more like the business side of basketball, like the fact that this is really a job. It's not only a hobby or something.
Right.
So, but yeah, about the mindset, about the fact that like sports are tools to grow yourself.
Yeah.
I think I had I was well educated, but just
Good.
more about the fact that there's another part about basketball, professional basketball. I
Mhm.
wasn't maybe 100% ready because
Right.
they never faced it.
Right. Okay, I've only got a couple more questions. I'll let you get out of here.
Yeah.
What's your pregame hype song right now?
To be honest, I only listen to really calm songs. I listen to like wait, I cannot remember. Let me check. I got my phone right here.
Go ahead.
Like the one I'm listening to right now is uh, Mood from Sear and Zachary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really a chill song.
Chill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm working on my activation because sometimes I'm too high. So I just try to listen to chill songs and come to the
Calm
game,
down.
relax, you know. Yeah.
I got you. I got you.
Mm.
We got a question from someone in the audience. Is there a part of French culture that he feels like he always carries with him? That's a good question.
Uh, Not really, because you know my father is French, but he's from West Indies,
Mhm.
and I grew up in Switzerland. So I mean I'm French because I speak French because I have a lot of French friends, but I don't feel like a French patriot or something.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
but I think I carry with me some Swiss stuff. You know,
Right.
I'm really
Right.
polite. Really, I try to take care of everything. These type of things.
Yeah, my best friend is Swiss, and
Yeah,
yeah,
the one
that's
who
how.
lives in Geneva, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's how it is. Um, if you were not hooping, what totally unexpected career choice would you have?
I would probably be like a police officer or something like this. But like
Okay.
something you can see in the shows, you know, like NCIS or something like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
You going real hardcore on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I got one question, and it is I'm throwing you under the bus right now. So you better hope none of your ex teammates are or teammates or ex teammates
Yeah.
are watching right now. So you're stranded on an island. You can bring one teammate, past or present, who's your survival guy,
Yeah.
right? Who you taking? You got one guy.
This is tough. But I think my guy will be Noé Anabir. He plays for Geneva right now.
Okay,
I'm sure I can always count on him. And yeah,
okay,
I would say Noé.
okay. So, my God, that's actually it for me in the questions, getting on your nerves. I do have one last request. This is the part of the show where I ask the guest for their recommendation for another guest. So, someone that you know that you think might be has a good story or
Yeah.
whatever. This does not have to be a player. This can be a fan. I've had wives, I've had GMs, I've had agents. It can be anybody in the overseas basketball world.
Yeah.
The thing is that you have to help me get this person because when I write them, they probably might not answer me. So
Okay.
you're helping me get this person. So who are you nominating?
Yeah, I get you. I played with one guy 2 years ago in first division in France. His
Mhm.
name is Charles Noé Abouo, and I'm sure he will be glad to be a part of it and to answer to all those good questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you shoot me his
Yeah,
IG, and then you hit him up and tell him that I'm gonna hit him up, and then we'll see if I can get him on the show.
I got you.
My guy, hey, I appreciate you. First of all, I appreciate you that you answered and you so quick, like, yeah, let's do it. I appreciate you for coming on and being really open and a great guest. And I wish you nothing but the best in your professional career.
Yeah.
Let's see it go higher, and I'll be kind of like checking you out and making sure everything's good.
Yeah.
If I can ever do anything for you, please let me know. If you need some old head advice, please let me know. But I really appreciate you coming on and being a part of this. And yeah, like I said, if there's anything that I can ever do for you,
Yeah.
please don't hesitate.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a pleasure for me too. You know, I've been following what you are doing since few months, and I really appreciate. Few things really helped me also. Like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I saw a post. I was like, okay, I need to, I need to do this too. So yeah, I really appreciate. I'm glad that I can be a part of this. So if you need something from me, don't hesitate.
Thank you, my guy. Thank you. So you get on up out of here. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.
See
All
you.
right. So everybody, once again, great guest. Really, really glad to have him on. It's always nice to see somebody on the upward rise of their career and be able to chart how it goes. So yeah, that's it for me for tonight. I'm not sure. No, next week I don't have one, I think. Or maybe I do, I don't know. But whenever I have one, I hope to see you there. Thank you for joining, whether you were here for 1 minute or the 45, 47 minutes that we've been on. And yeah, I hope all your friends and family are safe, and I hope to see all of you soon. Old head out.